4 to 5, I'm Eric Chilton here with Lauren Coleman, Stacey Spivey, Monique Robinson.
Hi everyone, the gang is all here. It's been a while since you've been in the studio, Eric.
Last week down in Savannah, Georgia. It was beautiful down there.
Well, we're glad to have you back, and we're glad to have you at home as well, whether you're watching on WFNY News 2, on Fire Stick, Roku, or the WFNY News 2 app.
If you're joining us on Facebook, be sure to give us a shout out in the comment section to let us know that you're here. But let's go ahead and get started with our top story of the hour, the Innocence hearings happening in Forsyth County.
I did exactly what the police wanted me to do, and that's what I did. The same thing every one of these defendants did.
Today, witness Jessicah Black taking the stand again during the Innocence hearings for a group of men known as the Winston-Salem Five.
The men are fighting to clear their names following the murder of Nathaniel Jones, the grandfather of NBA star Chris Paul. Nearly 20 years ago, Jones was found beaten to death outside his Winston-Salem home. 5 people were convicted in connection to the murder, all between the ages of 14 and 15. In 2020, Black recanted her testimony after claiming police coerced her into making up lies.
Today, she was asked to describe the defendants as she knew them when they were kids. We'll hear more of what she said coming up at 5 o'clock.
This is the second week of Innocence hearings in Forsyth County, and a lot has already happened so far. Let's get you caught up. Last week, we heard from one of the defendants, Jamal Toliver. He says he lied to detectives because he thought that was what they wanted to hear. An attorney with the State Innocence Commission also cited several inconsistencies in the initial investigation. Plus, we heard from a forensic psychologist that said the men at the time of the murder showed signs of intellectual disabilities. Since the beginning of the hearings, the state has argued that the murder was far too gruesome for just one person and that the convicted teens had numerous run-ins with the law.
Many of you asked questions on our Facebook page and the 4 to 5 live stream about how innocence hearings work and what this can mean for the future. I spoke with Robert O'Hale, an attorney who specializes in criminal defense. O'Hale has been an attorney for 40 years and says he's won 6 murder trials with juries in which his client was accused of first-degree murder. He says he's only ever seen this type of innocence hearing happen 3 times in his career.
These cases usually don't get this far. Generally, the system tries to do the right thing, but sometimes there are failures. There's just a lot of pressure on them to get it done. They want to get somebody arrested. And I think most of the time they get it right, but sometimes they get it wrong.
Now, here's how an innocence hearing usually gets started. Someone convicted of a crime can contact the Innocence Project. They look into it, and if they believe evidence is strong enough, they'll take it to the Innocence Inquiry Commission. That commission then sends the case to a judge. O'Hale thinks it was the perfect storm for the men convicted in this case. He says there were no recordings of their confessions, and they were young boys. He also doesn't agree with how law enforcement sometimes handles interrogations.
My advice to anybody, when the police want to talk to you, don't go to the police station. Go to your lawyer's office, or even just have your parents there. The police don't have any right to tell you to come to the detention center to be interviewed. You can do it at your own home. You don't have to talk to them at all. You can stop talking anytime you want.
As far as what could happen in the future, O'Hale says Jessicah Black, the key witness who recanted her testimony, could potentially get charged with perjury or be held in contempt of court for her prior testimony, but he doesn't think that will happen. As for the 5 men, if they're exonerated, O'Hale thinks it's possible that some of them could file civil lawsuits in federal court, but we'll have to wait to see what happens. And we will have more from today's Innocence hearing coming up at 5 o'clock. Plus, if you want to follow the latest developments, we have complete timelines on our website, WFNYnews2.com.
Now let's get to some of your other top headlines in your 4 to 5 roundup. Greensboro police believe one man is responsible for the death of 3 different people. Friday, officers charged John Richardson with murder after finding the remains of a missing man in Virginia. Police believe Richardson killed Devon Goolsby and left his body there. They also say he is tied to the murders of Mark Gilbert and Michael Hemphill in Greensboro. Right now, Richardson is in the Guilford County Jail under no bond. The Thomasville nursing home where 2 residents were found dead is back in compliance. The State Department of Health and Human Resources says it revisited the Pine Ridge Health and Rehabilitation Center on March 30th. Officials say the facility corrected all of the recommendations made by the state in a report after a visit in February. Earlier this year, police responded to the facility after a call from a resident complaining about not seeing staff members for a long time. When officers arrived, they found 2 residents dead and 2 others in critical condition. Right now, Pfizer is recalling some of its blood pressure medications. Just take a look here on your screen. Acupril or Quinapril comes in tablet form. Officials say the drugs are showing elevated levels of a cancer-causing chemical. The recall includes batches with expiration dates of May 2022 or March 2023. These are 90-count tablet bottles, all different milligram doses. You'll want to contact your pharmacist to figure out how to deal with the recall and swap out your meds. As of today, there's new visitation rules at Novant Health hospitals. Now, anyone 2 years or older can visit the hospitals. This is a change from the previous rule, which only allowed visits from people 12 and up. Keep in mind, this is just for Novant Health. Cone Health has not made any changes to their policy. This means you still must be 12 and older to visit their hospitals. Both hospital systems still require masks for visitors.
More and more, we are seeing the return of live events in the Triad. The reduced pandemic restrictions have opened the door for one Greensboro church. United Methodist is bringing back its music block party starting next Monday. This will be its first time holding the event since 2019, before the pandemic began. The family-friendly event will include food trucks and a variety of music from local bands.
We've got Jim Mayberry coming this Monday. We've got the Apple Pie String Band, which is a bluegrass group, which they're excited about. Patrick Rock, who's he's awesome, and we've got Doug and Deland. They do 70s and 80s acoustical music, and then the Holiday Band, which is a beach music band, and we're really excited to have them on Memorial Day, actually.
This event is free. It will be held at the church on Horsepin Creek Road every Monday in May from 5:30 to 8.
How exciting is that? I love that we're feeling more comfortable to be out and about, be with friends, and everybody loves live music. At least I do.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, you guys know how much I love it. And by the way, the people they named, and Patrick Rock has been around here forever. The Holiday Band is huge. And Jim Mayberry is a friend of mine because he's from Mount Airy originally.
I was wondering that.
It's funny, when your last name's Mayberry and you're from Mount Airy.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
I figured that there was some kind of connection. Really, when the weather starts getting warmer like this, it makes me want to go outside. It makes me want to go listen to live music, grab an adult beverage, go to a festival, eat some good music. It's that time of year.
And I like that this is something consistent. It's every Monday, so it's something you could plan and look out for, like it's a beautiful Monday. Let's go out to this church concert.
Yeah.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
You don't normally hear these on Monday.
Fridays or Thursdays and things like that.
Yeah, and sometimes you just need something fun on a Monday to look forward to.
Yeah, bring the kids out too, have some fun, blow some bubbles,
These
play some
pictures
games.
make me happy, yeah, seeing all that. All right, let's check in with Monique and see how that forecast is looking for the rest of the week.
Well, a week ago, temperatures were in the 50s on Monday, and it was cold, but today it is so warm outside. I've heard a lot of folks, even around our newsroom, saying it was just hot today, and the temperatures are speaking to that factor. I mean, 80s for you was a high temperature that we're seeing. We're still kind of on the up and up. I think we could tack on maybe a degree or so as we end out this Monday, but 82 so far the high in Greensboro, 83 in Winston-Salem, a lot of 82s. Reidsville a little bit warmer at 85. When we widen our view and look across South Carolina, they're also feeling the 80s. But when we widen the view even further and look across the nation, you can split right here, extending now from the Ohio Valley all the way further south to Texas, where we have this green layer and orange. It's just kind of speaking to what the temperatures are like there. We have warm air on one side, cold air on one side. That's the spot where a cold front is located. It splits the cold air and the warm air. As that cold front continues to move east, the cold air shifts our way. In between the two, though, we will have to see some showers and maybe even some isolated storms across the area. That cold front crossing our area tomorrow, which means a big change in weather is on the way. We won't be feeling these 80s like what we're feeling today, but a different weather pattern. As long as that high pressure remains there, we are feeling the warm weather. Once the cold front moves through, the cold air settles behind. Cold front brings the cold air, and that's what we're going to be feeling as we go towards the midweek and the latter part of your week. So it's a good start to the week, nice and warm, nothing like what we had last week. But as we continue through this week, the temperatures are going to be on a downward spiral from here on out. I'll be talking what severe weather impacts could be associated with this cold front that we're expecting to cross our area tomorrow.
A Japanese woman certified as the world's oldest person has died at the age of 119. Kane Tanaka was born January 2nd, 1903, the same year the Wright brothers took their first flight in North Carolina. Tanaka was in relatively good health until recently and lived at a nursing home where she enjoyed board games, solving math problems, soda, and chocolate. In 2019, Guinness World Records asked her what moment was the happiest in her life, and her answer was now. So I asked you on my Facebook page, what is your secret to living a long life? Rue Green says, my grandmother was 101 when she went to be with the Lord. Her advice was read your Bible, talk to God, and dream your dreams. I would add, never lose hope. Brian Young wrote, stay out of other people's business. Amen, amen. Nolan Hyman wrote, put God first and don't pollute your body, 71 in May. Bobby Odom wrote, avoiding conflicts and trouble as much as possible, praying and exercising. And Determined says, drinking water all of the time. I think that's some great advice. One of them made me think of what my grandfather told me. So my grandfather turned 90 back in December. And I remember us having a conversation. He said, girl, don't throw your life away. Make sure that you stay physically fit, mentally fit, and spiritually fit. And when we were having that conversation, I felt like he was like speaking into my soul. So it's something that I actually do think about daily that crosses my mind as I make certain decisions in my life.
I love that. A lot of people, they reference exercise, and it is important because I don't know if you've heard, I've heard a lot of older people that, you know, in their 80s, and they'll say, when you stop moving, you start dying. And they say you got to keep moving all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what I was thinking was all those three things you said. You got to take care of your body on the inside and out, but then spirituality is also so important, and having something to believe in just kind of helps you get through every day and every week. You know?
Absolutely.
To stay centered, I mean, in my opinion, that's the basis of
Yeah,
it.
stay grounded. I also like the comment about staying out of other people's business.
Yes.
That is some good advice
That
because you
is.
don't want to take on other people's problems, that drama,
just
that
adds
toxicity.
stress.
It does
Yeah.
add stress,
It does.
which, takes off some of your years of life.
And cross the wrong person in their business and it becomes your business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Well, staying on the topic of living a full life, here's Coach Lamont with a message about self-confidence.
It is time to awaken to a new self-confidence. Here's how you do it. Number one, be present. Know that this is your moment and own it. Don't accept lack as your final outcome. There is more in front of you than that which is behind you. Number two, lighten up. One way to dissuade yourself from taking action is to take whatever you are about to do too seriously. That only makes it feel too big, too difficult, and too scary. You will then realize that those problems and negative feelings are just something you've created in your own mind. Number three, stay focused. It is hard to get distracted when focus is the means by which you live by. Reprogram yourself with the attitude, I already got this mentality, and it will be impossible for you to lose. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
That was a
Like
really
it.
good one. I like that one. I like what he said about the not taking life too seriously.
Yes.
And that's something I've been working on. I feel like when you're always putting all this pressure on yourself, like I gotta be perfect, I gotta do this with my job, blah, 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 you start to feel insecure if you don't reach the level that you feel like you should be at. But when you don't take life too seriously, things just start coming into place and you get to enjoy life.
I agree. That was my favorite when he said just lighten up.
Yeah.
When some people are so easily hurt with this and offended with that, and then also the other side is stressed about this, stressed about that. Sometimes you just have
And
to
they're
say,
a mess.
You're a mess.
They're a mess,
Yes,
and you don't want to
thank
be
you.
around those folks.
That's exactly right.
I feel like that's me today. I've just been like a hot
Taking it
mess.
on.
No, but really, like my husband Jake tells me all the time, like just let it go.
Yeah.
And I just like hold on to things. Really, I'm so bad about that. But I feel like sometimes it's just because I care so much, I'm so passionate about things that sometimes it's too much and it's a little
And it starts to weigh
overwhelming.
you down.
It does,
And let
yeah.
it go. And some of the things you might be worried about with other people, they're at home sleeping peacefully.
That's right.
Not even thinking
Exactly.
twice
Oh my
about
goodness.
you while you're tossing and turning in bed like, I can't believe they said that. I should have said this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let it go.
And they don't even think a second about you.
Just like water off a duck's back, you
Yeah.
just have to go like it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think when you take whatever it is that you're obsessing, I always call it chewing on it. You can't chew on something too long. And I think if you start to take it out from your mind, get out of your mind and just look at it for what it is, it's about that big.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's a learned behavior. It comes with maturity and comes with time. I've had a lot of mentors say, just leave it at the job. Once you leave it there.
That's right. Compartmentalizing
Yeah.
can be a really good thing. We'll be right back.
It was flowing. I like some of these days. Hey, Facebook.
Let me open up.
Happy
Facebook.
Monday. We got Eric Chilton back into his house. He's been vacationing and whatnot. We want to hear about your vacation and what gifts you have brought us while you were away.
I was
What gifts?
supposed to do that. I wish I had known. Let me see here what we're
Get
talking
on
about
here.
next. Okay.
So you went to Savannah.
I did. We went down there to visit my son Alex, who's in college at SCAD, which is Savannah College of Art and Design, if you don't know. And it was wonderful because Savannah is such a good food city. We took him everywhere and he ate his way through the city. It was a lot of fun.
So I hear, because I've never been to Savannah, it's on my bucket
Oh,
list, but
gotta
like
go.
I hear a lot of people compare it to Charleston, which I've been
Yes.
there. Oh, I just hit my head on the
Yep.
screen.
It's like, yeah, it is like the history is, but the architecture, it's almost like a little New Orleans too, because there's a lot of like French Quarter looking design, cobblestone streets, squares with statues all over the place, really artsy. I love it. And just from a food standpoint, it's funny because Alex is in college, and so
I love
obviously
seafood.
he wants to eat. And he's like, I want good food. So we took him out to a nice restaurant all 3 nights, and every night he had steak. I was like, wait a minute, you had steak every night?
Wow.
And he said, yeah, I wanted to go for the big one.
I
so.
mean, I don't blame him at all.
No, in college, man.
Mom and Dad are paying.
Yeah.
Heck
That's right.
Bring
Let
out
me
the
get a
lobster,
steak.
the oysters,
I had enough
mussels,
ramen.
all of it.
Although I love ramen, I will say.
I do.
so.
I do like ramen.
I
I
do.
still eat it sometimes.
Yeah, I love
Yes.
it.
I was having this conversation with one of our editors, Julian, the other day because he was heating up some ramen.
We
All
gotta
right,
go Facebook.
Facebook. We'll be back in 20 minutes or something. Bye.
Welcome back. Did you know that today is World Penguin Day, and we're showing love to our little buddies living in the triad? How
Here's
cute.
a video from the African penguin habitat at the Greensboro Science Center of this morning's feeding. This was taken around brunch time. Herring and smelt were on today's menu. This friendly little fella here is Dwight.
How cute.
You can tell their names by those bands on their arms, and yes, that's Dwight after The Office.
They just make me so happy. If you're wondering why they look a bit fat, it's because it's molting season. During this time, they bulk up before losing all their feathers.
The penguins get fed twice a day. Their most recent feeding just ended about an hour ago. If you're ever interested in catching those feedings live, just go to the Greensboro Science Center Facebook page and they'll let you know what's happening there. I have been in that exhibit with them. They let us go in a couple times.
Yeah.
And there are holes, like little caves, all in that big rock structure. So I was sitting there talking to one of them and I felt this poke in my back. And I looked and he was poking at me from inside the little cave.
Cute. I saw that you could sign up for like one of those
Yes.
personal tours because I went to the Greensboro Science Center last year and I didn't get to see the penguins. So I want to go back and
You need to go.
experience
And
that.
and they'll come up to you. They're adorable.
You get to
Yeah.
feed them and everything?
Yeah, they'll let you hold the fish and feed them.
Aw,
If they
so
still do
cute.
that, I'm speaking out of turn. They used to allow that.
Okay.
I don't know.
So sweet. The last time that I went, they were all out and about and swimming and everything. You know, there's that rock like up close to the edge, like where people can stand. Like they were on that rock and one was just staring at Baylor and she was staring back.
She
But
was
it's so cute. And so they do have one named Dwight, and then I think another one's named Michael Scott, like after the
Oh, the
Office
Office.
character.
Oh, that's
cute.
funny.
Yeah.
Dwight
Cute.
Schrute.
I think they're so cute. One thing that I love about when you meet a lot of people who work at the Greensboro Science Center, they kind of treat the animals like their children. So when they name them, it really makes it personal, like a family experience. When they go to work, it's like their kids that they're tending to. Is so cute.
It's very good. I love it. And you should go there any chance you get and do so. Like Lauren says, those behind the scenes tours, if they still offer those, are incredible.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do because I was like, that's an activity I want to check out.
Absolutely.
And it really has been the perfect weather to go out to the Science Center.
Yes.
Yeah, all weekend long, I've been hearing folks have been heading out to outdoor activities very similar to the Greensboro Science Center. That continues for today. The only day that I would say that would not really be the best day to do an activity like that is on Tuesday. So this is a look at the rain showers associated with that cold front that's headed our way. You can see it crossing here from all the way in Texas, reaching all the way far north as Ohio. This is all that cold front. When we zoom in here, as we go into the day tomorrow, this is the zone that we're going to be a close eye on, as the Storm Prediction Center already has us under a marginal risk, which is level 1 for severe weather. Really not looking at too much of a severe weather threat. The tornado threat is 0 with this event, but we could be looking at some damaging wind gusts with any storms that move through, and a really strong dumping of rain as a strong storm possibly moves through the area. But for the most part, we're looking at light showers. So here are all the details that you need to know related to your Tuesday. Light rain showers, a few isolated storms that really could just allow for the sky to fall very briefly. But the timing of this is just after lunch, but kind of right before dinner time. So we're not talking an all-day Tuesday affair or evening impact, but kind of just in the early afternoon to early evening time frame. I already mentioned localized damaging winds with about a trace of rainfall as a whole, but like I said, if we do have a situation where the sky falls in with a very heavy downpour, we could see some localized heavier rainfall. So the futurecast showing you the temperatures kind of getting a little bit warmer, but then those showers move through, cool the air, but you can see already by 9 p.m. we're mostly clear and the rain is out of the area.
a storyline I couldn't say no to and the viewers are gonna love.
All right, in case you didn't catch today's soap operas, or stories, as my grandmother would call them, actor Michael Mealer is back on The Young and the Restless. He appeared today for the reprisal of his role as Kyle Abbott. Abbott reunited with his long-lost TV mom, Diane Jenkins, who was presumed dead for 10 years. Aren't they all at some point? But recently turned up alive for all of my season soap opera fans. Kyle Abbott is the son of longtime Young and the Restless character Jack Abbott, who's been around for a while. So I asked you on Facebook to tell me what soap opera you remember growing up. Here's what you had to say. Jennifer says, my grandma's TV stayed on Channel 2 all day. All day started with game shows, then Young and the Restless, Capital, Bold and Beautiful, As the World Turns, and Guiding Light. She watched all of them. Jenny says, General Hospital with my mom when I would get home from school. Janice Sumner said Search for Tomorrow and General Hospital. As children, it was our lunchtime. I always recognized that intro music, but never allowed to watch them, of course. Carolyn says, when I was a child, Mama watched Search for Tomorrow, and I would not dare changing that channel. Been watching Young and the Restless since 1974. Now I don't want my channel changed anymore. And Deborah Davis said, Days of Our Lives, The Doctors, Another World. I remember my mother watching Another World. I named my children, she says, after characters on these soap operas. That tells a lot about how much I was into them at the time. Maria says, all my children, my daddy had to see what Erica Kane was up to next, and that's why he watched. So yeah, my mom and Lauren and I just talked about this. My mother and my grandmother loved them, and they both called them their stories. Can't miss my stories.
My grandmother called them her stories as well. I remember when I was younger, so my grandparents, they have a lot of land. They grow like butter beans, snap peas, collards, all that good stuff. So I remember being at my grandparents' house. In their dining room, there's like a little TV that just has basic cable that played all those stories. Yeah. So I remember like snapping peas with my grandmother while we watched them.
That's a great story.
I have to say, I mean, I don't think anyone I can at least think of right now growing up in my family watched soap operas. Like, I can't think of anyone that did. I remember my dad's mom, when she was alive, she loved reality TV, and I think that that's where my love for reality TV came
She was a
from.
Kardashian fan.
I'm telling you, she knew everything about all the bachelors and bachelorettes and Dancing with the Stars. She loved it.
You know, funny, my grandmother, my mother's mom, was a character, hilarious, wide open all the time. And she loved her stories, but the one thing she also watched, which is crazy, is professional wrestling.
Interesting.
And we would try to tell her, yes, she's this old lady sitting there watching, and she was yelling for the certain one she cheered for. And I said, Grandma, you know that's kind of a show, right? And she goes, no, it's real. All her life, I would sit there and say,
would she try to act it out, like pick up a table? And
no, but she would be yelling for her favorite wrestler. It was hilarious.
I love that story.
Wow.
All right, we'll go to break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the 4 to 5. We'll do this Mickey Mouse Club style. It's
Okay.
Lauren, Monique, Eric, Stacy. Everybody waves when their name is called.
Welcome everyone, whether you're watching at home, Fire Stick, Roku, or the WFMY News 2 app.
And join us on Facebook. We are having some conversations in there. It's a good time, so be sure to join us on there. But let's go ahead and start things off with an up-close look at changes happening on One Triad University.
Today, UNC Greensboro opened its new esports arena. It's located on the first floor of Moore Commons. The 3,300 square feet building is decked out in tech coolness. We're talking ranging from gaming computers, console bays, and Oculus headsets. Aside from learning, the school says the building will host gaming tournaments. How awesome is that?
That is
These
so
kids
cool.
get everything these days.
I love this. I've been
That's
waiting for
cool.
something like this around here for a long time. And I did a story on this when they were first organizing it, and I still haven't gotten in to see the arena yet. But this is what everybody is into these days. Esports has so much money tied to it. So this is great for UNCG as well as people who may want to be professional gamers.
And I think, have you guys ever worn the
Oh, yeah.
Oculus Rift? Those
have
are cool.
not.
I have. When I was in grad school,
coolest.
there was a professor that was trying to see how you could do journalism by using those, and they're very cool.
It's when you put the earbuds in with it that it's so immersive.
Oh,
it's
so
almost
you feel like
crazy.
you're really there.
Yeah, when
Actually, I
you
take
gotta
that
put
back.
the earbuds in.
I do remember putting them on, and I felt like I was gonna fall the whole time.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
really?
it is. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna lose my balance.
So I thought
And
I
get
was going to
confused.
run it. You feel like you're going to run into
Right,
things,
yeah.
but what the Oculus does is it senses your surroundings. So when you get close to a wall, it pops up these like red arrows to let you know, hey, you need to back up a little bit, so you won't do that. Because it's so, you're right, it's so realistic. You're like, I don't know where I am.
Gosh, technology is so crazy, and the fact that this is the way things are moving to where they have a whole academy dedicated to
Yes.
this.
Yeah, and there's good money that can be made in gaming, and especially if you're passionate about it, it's cool that you can bring your passion into your career. So.
Well, my kid Bryce is on the esports Rocket League team for his university.
Okay.
So they play. You'll see. I saw Rocket League showing up here a little while ago, but that's a big game that people love, and there is
Also-
sponsorship money.
It's great for Greensboro because if they have tournaments here,
Yep.
that's going to bring people into town.
From all over. Yeah, watch that drone racing sometime. That's incredible. All right, there's a lot of talk these days about the huge number of jobs coming to the Triad through new industries. Yep, even what we just got finished talking about. That's one of them. But now the question is, how do you get those jobs? Greensboro College has a new program that not only saves you money, but puts you in the perfect position to get hired with all these new positions that are out there. I spoke with Greensboro College President Larry Zarda about how the Center of Innovation and Workforce Development Initiative will play out. So Larry, this program is coming along at the right time, right? Talk about the thought process that went into this.
Yeah, we saw that even before the pandemic, even before the Great Resignation, the workforce demands in the region were growing exponentially. And now with the announcements by Panasonic and Toyota, by Boom Supersonic, all the distribution centers, we just felt it was the right time to expand the offerings of the college beyond the usual traditional degrees.
And also this type of thing, it's not expensive. When you talk about somebody trying to get a 4-year, it's not that.
Correct. They range, right now we're offering 14 certificates. We hope to grow that to about 35 over the next few years. Right now it's primarily healthcare and information technology. Some of the short-term ones are you could become a phlebotomy tech. It costs you about $2,000. You can get the certification in 3 months. Some of the more complicated, like cybersecurity, would take probably a good 10 months and cost about $12,000. But that is not the same as a full 4-year college degree.
And the need, you said, is huge here.
The need is huge. I had a chance to be on the steering committee of the Triad Talent Alignment Strategy work the Piedmont Triad Partnership did a few years ago. And more recently, I'm co-chairing the Guilford Jobs 2030 initiative with Donna Griffin from D.H. Griffin Companies. And the data are startling. The workforce demands here are very, very high.
I mean, it's tens of thousands of jobs literally over the next, 5 to 10 years. And
There is one estimate over the next 5 to 10 years, there will be 50,000 additional jobs in the marketplace.
This is perfect remedy for that. So now you know what to do. Lots of jobs out there when you think about that. And if you need more information on that, look for this story on our website, WFMYnews2.com. We'll link you to where you can apply for that program.
Now let's get to your other top headlines in your 4 to 5 roundup. A 19-year-old in High Point is facing attempted murder charges. Police say Jadon Crafton shot 5 people, including a small child. It happened last Friday night on Brentwood Street. Family members of one of the victims told police Crafton was on Facebook Live bragging about what he did. After a brief chase, they were able to arrest him. Greensboro police believe one man is responsible for the death of 3 different people. Friday, officers charged John Richardson with murder after finding the remains of a missing man in Virginia. Police believe Richardson killed Devin Goolsby and left his body there. They also say he is tied to the murders of Mark Gilbert and Michael Hemphill in Greensboro. Right now, Richardson is in the Guilford County Jail without bond. In your national headlines, Twitter is abuzz after announcing the acceptance of Elon Musk's $44 billion offer. Yesterday, the company's board met to discuss the Tesla billionaire's proposal to buy the social media giant. Last week, Musk announced he had lined up $46.5 billion in financing in his bid for Twitter. He says Twitter needs to be taken private to become a genuine platform for free speech. The first fully commercial non-government crew is now back from the International Space Station. The crew Dragon Endeavour plunged back to Earth via splashdown earlier today. The crew spent 17 days in orbit and was supposed to return a week ago, but couldn't due to the weather. The trip is just one of several successful Axiom 1 space trips. It's also the company partnering with Wake Forest University to develop medical research in Winston-Salem. And now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Monique Robinson. It has been warm today.
It certainly has, Stacy. The current temperature in Burlington is 83 degrees. These winds whipping at a slant, not actually on that really straight and narrow, which shows that the winds have been fairly breezy, but nothing too crazy for your Monday. Really just bringing on the heat. Now, tomorrow, this is what we're expecting. So we're going to go through a day of warmer temperatures, very similar to today. But as we go to the afternoon, take a look at the times down here. We go to the early afternoon, ending by the early evening. We're dealing with the possibility of some scattered showers and even some isolated storms. Through the day, it will be windy with wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, but with a particular storm that moves through, you could get some damaging wind gusts that are a little bit stronger than that. So our futurecast showing that cold front approaching our area as we go through the day on Tuesday, bringing in the showers and storms for the early part of your afternoon after lunchtime, and then things quickly clearing as you head home from work. So we're not talking an all-day rain event, but something to keep our eyes out for as we end out the Tuesday. And then as we go through Wednesday, temperatures are going to be much cooler, but it's going to be dry. Now I want to just talk about the winds a little bit because this is a weather factor that is more than likely going to occur within the vicinity of this cold front. We're going to see the winds pick up through the Tuesday afternoon with that cold front crossing, ranging between 30-35 miles per hour, maybe even upwards of around 40 miles per hour across the area. So there's some fairly strong wind gusts. They do take a break, but then they become breezy once again for your Wednesday afternoon. So we're talking breezy tomorrow on Tuesday and again on Wednesday in the wake of that cold front, but those winds will calm down as we go for the latter part of your work week. So I've yet to show the 7-day, but it's a much different story as compared to last week, as we had temperatures all in the 70s, and then the weekend was looking very warm in the 80s. This weekend doesn't really look like that same picture. We're seeing more temperatures cooler than what we felt this past weekend. So after today, the temperatures are going to be on a downward trend through your Sunday, but then we're going to be warming back up when we start next week.
Well, right now the weather, it's perfect here, and it'll be like 70s and 80s. Great time to get out and pick strawberries. And so we want to make sure that you and your family, where to find them. So we made it easy for you. Just text the word berry to that number on your screen, and we will send you a list of strawberry farms around the Triad that are good to go. We'll send that right to your phone. Again, text the word berry to 336-379-5775. We'll be back. Hey, if you love the movies, you will love this, an international film festival taking place right here in the Triad. We know about this. Our old friend, the River Run Film Festival, runs through Saturday. Tickets are still available. Now, the festival features cinemas across the Triad and showcases 174 films. There is something for everybody out there, like documentaries, animated films, short films. To find out where the closest participating theater is to you, look for this story on WFNYnews2.com. And here's something cool for our 4 to 5 viewers. We got a deal for you here. You can get in for free to hear a classic Hollywood actress talk about her acting experiences and then watch the actual movie that she was in. Gigi Perreault was 9 years old when she was in the film Shadow on the Wall with Nancy Reagan, before she was Nancy Reagan, of course. But now at 81, she's speaking about it as a part of the River Run Film Festival. If you use the promo code NOIR, that's N-O-I-R, you can get in tonight at Red Cinemas for free. I believe that starts around 8 o'clock, but just look for this link on this story on our website, WFNYnews2.com.
That is really cool. So this got us thinking about our favorite movies. So I asked you on my Facebook page, what's your favorite movie? Nancy says Grease and Dirty Dancing. Joanne's is The Sound of Music. That's actually my dad's favorite movie. Jim's favorite is Gone with the Wind. Heidi loves Steel Magnolias. Susan, my mother, says Sweet Home Alabama. Teresa writes Footloose with Kevin Bacon. Love the music. For Janice, it's The Notebook. And Brenda says Camelot. I'll have to say, a lot of people on my page put Steel Magnolias.
That is a good one.
It's a
classic movie.
Shelby.
I can't. There's no way I can pick one.
Yeah, that was kind of tough. I narrowed it down to 4.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, Parent Trap with
Ooh,
Lindsay Lohan. I know all the words
Yep.
by heart.
Yes.
Princess Diaries. That's
You're
another
naming
favorite.
my list.
And then I really have a thing for cheesy movies. So
Okay.
Malibu's Most Wanted. I don't know if you ever seen that. The guy that wants to be a rapper and his dad's
Oh
like
my
running for
gosh.
governor. And then Undercover Brother was another one. I used to watch that movie every day after school in 5th grade.
That's hilarious.
I honestly can't pick one. There's because I like all kinds of genres. You know, I like action. I actually liked horror when I was younger, and I don't know. It's really too hard for me to pick one.
I had to put on my post, but Pride and Prejudice is probably my all-time
Okay.
favorite. That's one you can just I can put on and watch it like it's the first time I've seen it every time, or I can just have it on the background and listen to the musical score. I just love it. But Parent Trap. and
Parent
Princess
Trap is a good.
Diaries.
Remember the handshake and stuff
Yeah.
that she used to do with her
Yeah.
butler? I used to try to learn that one.
The
Titanic is one of my
Da-da-da-da-da.
favorites. I can say that.
Titanic. That is
Yeah,
a good one.
That's one of my. But I can't watch it but so many times. I'm over. I can't. I've seen it so much now that I have to take a break.
There's so many great movies. We're gonna have to narrow it down to what's your favorite Disney movie or your favorite
Yeah.
action movie,
we
because
need to do
it's
that.
just so many great ones.
All the
really is.
diehards are up there. All right, we'll take a short break. Be back.
You smell like peppermint and pipe tobacco. What did you say? Oh, from Malibu? Oh, yeah. I said shrink, shrink, blinkety blink. Try to go to my seat.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. All right, so when I think about spring cleaning, this is what I think about, right? I think about washing the windows and I wash the screens, that sort of thing. My mind does not go to this next picture right here. Yeah, my makeup bag. Nope, it should probably, not because I need to wash my brushes, but because all of us here wear makeup, do we not, Eric Chilton?
We do.
Yes.
Maybe not today, but yes, I normally wear makeup.
All right, my question is to all of you, do you toss your stuff or just keep it in the bag just in case, even if you don't use it?
Like, you mean throw it out?
Yeah.
No, I keep everything in there. There's like lipsticks I haven't used in months or never use that just stay in my makeup bag.
Yeah, lipsticks I keep. Other things I'll tend to throw out once I've used it all, if it's broken or I just don't like it anymore.
But don't they say it's like the eye stuff that you're supposed to cycle that through because of hygiene or something? Is that right, Tanya? What is
They
that all about?
are saying that, in fact, so that's what we're talking about. So one day I may need that shade of lipstick or I may need that backup whatever it is, and I keep it with me. But I want you to check this out because they say eye makeup like mascara or eyeliner should be replaced after 3 months.
Okay.
Liquid blushes, concealers, or foundations, throw those away after a year.
Okay.
Anything that's a pencil, like your lips, brows, or eyelids, you can keep that around for a year as well. Lipsticks and lip glosses, they've got a much longer lifespan, 1 to 2 years. Now, this is what they say. Not only can expired products not work as well, but they can harbor potentially harmful germs.
The downsides to those kinds of contaminations, which are generally things like skin infections, skin irritation, certainly eye infections, conjunctivitis, styes, those things can all arise from contaminated and or expired makeup.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now are you ready to check this stuff or no?
I think because we do work in television and we wear makeup every day, I'm always like, oh, I need to get a new eyebrow pencil. I need to get a new eyeliner. So I feel like if I didn't wear makeup every day, then these rules would apply for me. But I feel like I'm always recycling through.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that myself too, Lauren, because I go through makeup so quickly, and it's probably because, I mean, think about it. A lot of times we put makeup on twice a day, sometimes maybe even more if we have a special shoot or something. So I'm always trying to buy new makeup. So there may be a few things in there that, and probably some lipsticks that I need to toss.
Yeah.
All I can say is that I'm proud because, Tanya, usually I read ahead. I did not know what your segment was on today, and I got it right on the money.
Alert, spoiler you got it right on, Eric Chilton. Okay, so what I want you folks to do at home is grab yourself a Sharpie and date your makeup. And I'm going to put those throw out dates online, but I don't want you to miss this before we go. Usually when we think of expiration dates, we think of numbers like this, right? A month and a year. Not all makeup looks like that. Most often it is one number on the back. Take a look. You see that little, pot there? Okay, that we circled it. 3M, 6M, that means 3 months or 6 months.
Interesting.
Again, take that Sharpie and date your items when you open it up so you can keep it on track. Eric?
All right, not a bad day today. I'm loving this. It won't stick around for long, but Monique, what's it look like as we head into the next week or so?
Well, yes, it certainly is a nice day outside at UNC Greensboro. We see these blue skies, and much of us across the central Piedmont have been seeing those today. The temperatures have taken a trend towards the warmer numbers as we've moved through the day. I mean, we started out in the upper 50s, and by this afternoon, we're seeing 80s everywhere, or at least we're feeling 80s everywhere. 82 is where we're currently sitting at in Greensboro. Over the next 20 hours, you can see these temperatures are going to fall to the 60s. So it's going to stay a warm night across the area, and then temperatures rebounding tomorrow back into the 70s. But with that cloud cover out ahead of the cold front, it really might limit how warm we get. So it won't be as warm as compared to today, but we'll get to see the 70s. The funny part about it is actually the temperature we should be for this time of year is in the 70s, but we're actually seeing temperatures way warmer than that. We've been feeling them all weekend long. So tomorrow, reminder, rain and storms possible between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. Localized damaging winds are the primary severe weather threat associated with any strong storms that develop. But here is a look at the full 7 days. So you can see the temperatures cooling down after today. The next 80 doesn't arrive until next week. So we're talking rain chances tomorrow, things staying dry for the end of the week, and then more rain possibly this weekend.
To the gym the other day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like.
Hello, hello, hello. Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, there's some people who look rude.
Hello, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey, it's time for my 2 cents. And today I want to talk a little bit about art. So, I don't know if you did this when you were a kid. Most of us have. Sidewalk chalk, right? Love it, out there drawing your little designs or maybe writing your name on the side. It was just really cool that you could do it and the rain washed it away. You got a clean palette the next day. My kids love it as well. Well, my son goes to Savannah College of Art and Design called SCAD, and they're full of artists in this school. It's an art school. So we went to visit him in Savannah, and the amount of talent, even in something like sidewalk chalk, they had a sidewalk chalk art festival and competition. Look at these images. Blown away by the amount of talent that someone has with just some chalk. And even some of them were using paintbrushes and some water to kind of mute or mix the chalk colors on the sidewalk. It was absolutely amazing. There were more than 300 entries. I don't know how in the world they ever chose a champion, but it was some of the best art I've ever seen. And it just goes to show you how much talent is out there and literally what you can do with some of the simplest things that take us back to our childhood. Sidewalk chalk was just something we played around with, right? Who knew that you can make a masterpiece like this? And my thought the whole weekend was, thank goodness it's not going to rain for a few days so people can actually enjoy this. So the next time you see some art out there, take into account someone has a talent to do this and do it with something that you wouldn't think about as conventional artwork. It's amazing the talent that we have as humans out in the world. That's just my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
Community members are doing everything they can to help a grieving family after a murder-suicide rocked Davie County last week.
The sheriff's office says